Paul, firstly, welcome back to the Soul Sync podcast. It's great to have you back so soon.
Pleasure to be back.
So, on this special episode today, you're going to be taking us on a guided meditation. Now, I was so excited when you said you were going to come in and do this for us, but just tell people what to expect and what you're going to be doing with them today.
Okay, so you've just used the word meditation. So, often you hear people say, oh, well, I think I feel like meditating, it will do me good. But that's pointless. There has to be a motive, a purpose behind why you're doing the meditation. And there are many varying forms of meditation. Some are not meditation, some are more contemplation, or they're just creating a freedom of mind just to escape and let the mind go on a pretty journey. The one I do is a little bit more purposeful, and there's many purposes to it. So, firstly, it's very important for the ones that want to develop their mediumship. It's this what I share with people is what I did in my beginning, and I did this for 12 months, once a week in a group and every day on my own. So the purpose of it in that aspect, whether it's for your mediumship or for yourself, a lot of people call it sitting in the power. Well, if you've got no power or your power is not strong, it's positive or negative, or you don't know what your power is or understand your power, then what are you sitting in? You don't know what you're sitting in. So this is what we have to look at. All right. So also, like I said, it's multi-purpose. Yes, for those who want to develop their mediumship, but also it's for self-awareness. Because, often when people begin the spiritual journey, they think it's like, just sitting meditating aimlessly, wearing their crystals, hanging their dream catchers, whatever. If that does something for people, fine, I've got no problem with it. But, spirituality and its development is about an inward journey. So
Mm.
this one I do, it's really about coming to know and understand your power, to develop it by strengthening it, dealing with the weaknesses,
Mm.
embracing the positives, and moving away and letting go of things from the past and that we hang on to that we can't change, which creates a negativity within us. Things about ourselves that we don't like, we then need to look at, well, does that mean I have to accept too? Um, is it
Okay.
something that I can work on and change into a positive? And then also, which we all, and often many people find difficult, it's accepting and embracing the positive as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, here, it's like I found it very difficult. I remember my mentor, Gordon Higginson, saying, you've got to be able to love yourself and everybody. And I said, that's impossible. And he said, no, it's not. You cannot like everybody, but you can love everybody. And this is the
Mm.
problem I had. I thought there's no way I could love myself because I didn't like myself. Yeah. So, in it,
Mm.
I've learned, my positives, my negatives, embrace the negatives and allow the positives to overpower those negatives there. Either that's whether my makeup and expression, what I've done or not done within my life. And, we've got to be able to look at ourselves honestly and truthfully. So that's the battle. That's the difficulty.
Can I just ask one layman's
Yeah,
question?
certainly.
Because there's probably a lot of people like me listening. So this is really about getting fully in tune with myself and my own power within.
That's right. And if we can achieve those things I said we need to look at, that will then bring a strength to your power. See?
Mm.
Okay.
And you need to build that power to connect with the spirit world.
That's right. So this is what see this what I do is in two parts. So that's the first part. Then the second part then is lifting that power, your mind and consciousness to another level to blend with that divine power of all life and creation, you know, and to be able to be one with it. And if we can do that, then it will heighten our sensitivity. And then in that inner voice or subconscious, then that power and intelligence can move us, direct us, uphold us in all that we are and in all that we do. It's a wonderful tool, and and this is why I say it's not just for people who want to develop mediumship; it's for within your own life as well. We can use it to send healing thoughts and healing power to other people. We can use it for our own self healing. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, Paul, you're in need of healing. Can we give you healing?" And I say, "No, thank you." And they're quite surprised, and I say, "Well, I don't need. I can do it for myself."
Could you maybe as well, Paul, use it as a tool for, say, inspiration? So a musician who wants to write a piece of music,
That's
it
right.
could be.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
in any aspect. You see, I said to you in a previous podcast, we don't want everybody to become mediums. Okay, it's being able to be inspired in all areas, all walks of life, whether it's the creative industry, whether it's the business, the science, political, no matter what. Okay, but if we can heighten that sensitivity and that power. Yeah, then it's easier then for the spirit world to, let's say, move us or direct us and inspire us. You see.
Perfect. And just before we go into the meditation, you said before we started recording that you're going to do a shorter one today, but people can over time adjust this for themselves. And
That's
yeah,
That's right. So
okay.
what I'm doing, I'm just going to do the way I use it in the general sense. Okay,
Hmm.
all right, a little bit of ingredients. Okay, but then they've got to then adapt it to what they need as an individual. Okay, so also what I just want to add is, for those who are looking at for it in a mediumistic aspect, if you don't understand that power within you, in how it's been used and expressed, you're not going to understand the power of an individual whose lives you come into contact, let alone understand that of a soul that's moved on to beyond the physical world. So, so
Mm.
this is why it's important. I feel it's very good for those who are either midlife crisis, young people who don't know where they're going, they don't know what they want, they're dissatisfied. And by going into your own power, you'll start to discover your qualities that you can manifest in life. You maybe then, can find your way, and that will be more fulfilling for you within your life.
I think you explained that so it made total sense to me. What one last thing just before we get going, I asked you about music, and if anyone was expecting me to push a button now and be swept off to a tropical island with the sea going, you made a very good point about music in your view, Paul, which is so just explain on that point for people that might be expecting that type of experience.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of people want music when they're meditating. So what you've got to realize, if we're going to move into that power and then change and move into another level of consciousness, we've got to move beyond the physical consciousness and our physical awareness. So if we're listening to music, it's keeping our mind too physically conscious. Okay,
Hmm.
so to help me, because it's not easy to sit and go there within that silence and stillness. So
Mm.
what I used to do was play a little bit of meditation music for about 5-10 minutes, just to get me relaxed and in the mood, then move into the silence and the
Mm.
stillness. And it's like the same today. So, listening to me take you through it will take away from the effect. Yeah. Okay. So, you'll have the recording of it, which I'm sure they're able to download, whatever. And you can use it for a while till you get into the rhythm of it. And then once you go into the rhythm, then leave the music alone. And also, you see, there's not a set time. It's good if we can build up to doing it for 1 hour. Yeah, I'm not going to do 1 hour today. All right, okay. But the point is, there's no point sitting for 10 minutes and then you're fighting and struggling with it. You're achieving nothing. So, what will show results is the time length will grow naturally. Yeah. So then you'll find, oh, I've sat for 30 minutes and it still only seemed like 5 minutes. So that will tell you you're starting to achieve because you lose consciousness of time. Okay.
Mm.
And I normally say this afterwards, but I'll say it now. Okay. Um, Also, one of the signs of achieving the results in the second part, the color of spiritual power is the violet color. Yeah. So when you really reach in that second part, um, then that color will manifest, but not a flat, still color. It'll be like a cloud that billows in and out. And as it billows in and out, it should move you further and deeper into that power. Yeah. And in that, see, a lot of people who are developing mediumship, when they do sitting in the power, they're wanting to see something, be aware of something. Then they're defeating the object. We, uh, because
I've been there myself, Paul.
yes,
I
I'm
can
sure you
relate
have.
to that.
So see, that's using the power, not developing and strengthening. Yeah.
Mm.
And just go back into the first part. So even with mediumship, people say to me, well, should I do this type of mediumship, this mediumship, or that other? I said, develop your power, and naturally, then the mediumship that you can use within the power that you are will unfold and tell you whether you've got to be a healing medium, a communication medium,
Mm.
a speaking medium, a trance medium, whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's how it should happen. And that's how mediumship was developed in the past. You develop the power first. Gordon Higginson wouldn't allow me to do one exercise. Okay, and I was doing this once a week in a group, as I said, every day, on my own. And after about 12 months, he said to me, "You're now ready to begin." Because I knew I'd got to the stage of that strengthening and development of
Do you know
my
what? I love that though, Paul. I absolutely love that story because I almost, if I'd had the same teacher or someone who told me that, I think it would have solved so much time wasting of not
That's
looking at the right thing.
That's
So
right.
we're
Can
gonna,
I just explain something else just
yeah,
before we
sure,
get to the
please do.
meditation? You see, and particularly for those who want to go forward with their mediumship, you're trying to build your mediumship often on negativity and with no strong foundation. If you look sometimes when I see people come to the college and they want to come and develop mediumship, and most of us often look at spiritual things when we've gone through some negative effects in our lives, physically, mentally, or emotionally, and we haven't dealt with it, and we're trying to build our mediumship on that.
Mm,
Yeah, and this is why so
yes.
many crumble and so many people don't achieve and fall away or don't reach the quality that they may have the potential for.
It's very interesting. Just before we get going, obviously we're going to continue straight through on this episode with the meditation, but I will release straight after this episode another episode which is just Paul doing the meditation. So you don't have to try and remember exactly where you need to be in this episode to keep listening to it. So there will be another one, and then you can just go back and listen to that again and again and again whilst you're practicing, and I'll be doing exactly the same. So without further ado, Paul, over to you.
So thank you for that, Jason. So everybody, so hopefully you can be sitting somewhere comfortable where you can sitting up straight in your chairs, your feet on the ground, your hands in your lap. We want you to keep your bodies as still as possible, and that includes your heads. No dropping your heads. If I was watching you physically and you dropped your heads, I'd believe you were sleeping and not meditating. Okay. Um, all right. So, and a lot of people move their hands touching their face because when that power builds, it can sometimes have a physical effect, like a cobwebby effect on the top of your head and face. And if you move your hand to wipe it away or touch it, you're breaking your meditation. So, let's begin then by sitting straight in our chairs, feet on the ground, hands in our lap, bodies perfectly still, and no moving your hands and touching your face. So let's close our eyes and let's begin to breathe a little deeper than we normally do. And as we do so, Move your breath into a regular rhythm. And as you move that breath into a regular rhythm, begin to relax each part of your physical body, beginning with your toes and feet, and just simply become more relaxed with each breath. And as you become more relaxed, just allow your mind to focus on that rhythm of your breath. Then, through your imagination and your breathing, begin to move your mind down from your head, down to the center of your being. Just one breath, one step at a time, slowly but surely. As you move your mind down, create and become conscious of that spark of divinity, that spark of light that lies deep within. Then finally, allowing your mind to touch that spark of divinity and in turn ignite the flame of your soul. With each breath, allow that flame to grow. The power and light of it filling the whole of your physical being. Keeping your mind at the center of it, and experience the power and light of your spirit. There within it is all that you are, all that you can be, and all that you have been. Simply experience the power of you. from within your own power naturally. Allow that something to rise that has been negative, that you cannot change from your experience of life. And with each breath, let it go. Or that something negative you feel about yourself as a person, let it come naturally. And either accept it that it's you, or acknowledge that you can change to a positive. Now is time to recognize that something that lies deep within you, that is good or godly in who you are and in that what you've done. Recognize it, allow it to rise to the surface, and in turn, empower you. With each breath now, using your imagination, allow your power and light to emanate from you. Your power and light filling the room you're sitting within. Then through your imagination, create and become conscious of a greater light in the far distance, in the heavens above. And with each breath, one step at a time, allow your power, light, and mind to move up and out, to that greater light. Slowly but surely, one breath, one step. Beginning to experience the emanation of that greater light as you move closer towards it. Till finally touching that greater light and beginning to merge with it. With each breath, allow it to envelop you, moving you deeper and deeper into a oneness with the divine power of all life and creation that you're a part of and belong to. And then simply just experience the wonder and your relationship with that divine power of life and creation. Let us now bring it to a close by taking this small moment to thank your God for the very gift of you and this day. Then through your breathing, bringing yourself back to your own physical awareness and consciousness. One breath, one step at a time, slowly but surely. Becoming aware of your physical body once more, simply feeling and moving your toes and feet, your ankles, your knees, fingers and hands, hips and elbows, your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Then slowly opening your eyes and having a little stretch if need be. Some of you may want to just take a little drink of water if you've got some water handy and next to you. So remember, this is just a short version. You've got to adapt it to your needs and use. You can use the first part on its own, the second part on its own, or do it collectively, the two parts together.
Thank you so much, Paul. That was amazing.